Hi everyone, it's Sam here from samsentiments.co.uk. This week I'm going to show you how to make this little thank you card. It's, let me remind myself, yeah, it's 5 inches square and it's left blank inside so that you can write your own little message. It uses 3 of our current stamp sets, the Sassy Salutations, Petite Petals, and one of my favourites, Gorgeous Grunge. So I'll show you how I made it. This one's made using Strawberry Slush, but the next one I'm going to make is going to be made out of Wisteria Wonder. So first of all we need our stamping trimmer and some Wisteria Wonder cardstock, which we're going to cut at 10 inches by 5 inches. So we'll line up at the 10-inch mark. And then 5 inches. Remember, the dark grey blade is the cutting blade and the light grey one is for scoring. So we'll cut down, keep that cutting blade out of the way, and then we'll turn it back round and we'll score it at 5 inches. I always like to go over it a couple of times just to make sure. Then we can fold it over and we'll burnish it using the bone folder. The next thing you're going to need is the layer on top and the layer in the middle. So you need a piece of Whisper White cardstock, 2 pieces that measure 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Move the scoring blade out of the way, and there we go, 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. There's the first one. Okay, so again, 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So we've finished with the trimmer. We'll pop that away. The first thing we're going to do is the stamping. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Score pad and some scrap paper. I'll pop our first piece of Whisper White on there. The first bit of stamping is using the sketch lines on the Gorgeous Grunge, and they're going to be in Wisteria Wonder. So we just ink up the stamp. I'm going to stamp that along the edge, line it up and stamp. And the reason I've got the scrap paper behind is of course we're actually stamping off slightly. And again, and come down and just line it up at the edge and stamp it off again. So there you go, you've got the stamp lines there. Then we're going to come in with our Crumb Cake ink and use the second stamp from the Gorgeous Grunge, excuse me, and they're the paint splotches on there. And we'll just ink that up and we'll just randomly stamp that over those lines, and again towards the bottom like so. So that's that piece. Now then we've got the sentiment, which is in this case thank you, and that's coming from the Sassy Salutations stamp set, and it's that thank you there. Now I don't know about you, but I don't like to see wonky cards, so I want to line mine up, and I'm going to use the Stampin' Jig from Stampin Up to do that. And if you've not seen one of these before, this is the Stampin' Jig. You get a T-bar which helps to align it, and you get a piece of clear plastic, and what you do is you pop your T-bar on your table, slide the plastic up onto this corner here until it won't go anymore. And you get your stamp on your clear block, and this works just as well with the wood mounted stamps. Ink your stamp, make sure your plastic's all the way into that corner, then you get your clear mount and line that up with that corner as well and slide it down. Now you must leave your stamp on the block in exactly the same position. Then you take your positioner away, bring back the paper that you want to stamp. I'm going to move that off there for now. We'll pop it down there and you line it up where you want it to be. Don't worry if you smudge it a little bit, all you need is to get a rough idea of where you want it to be. I hope you can see that on the video. So there you go, I think that's probably just about lined up and not wonky. So again, you leave your clear plastic in position, slide your Stampin' Majig over your plastic, butt it up to the plastic, hold that in place, don't move it, take your plastic away, get your stamp, ink it up, and again line your block with the corner of your Stampin' Majig and just slide it down and press your stamp in place, and then your stamp will be exactly where you'd lined it up using your plastic sheet. So that's that. Now the next thing we're going to do is stamp the little flowers, these ones here, and we'll punch them out, but you'll see that I've also stamped them on the card on the inside as well. So first of all, we'll take the card that we've got for the inside and we'll pop that down back on my mat, and the little flower I'm using is from the Petite Petals set, and you've got 6 flowers all the same shape and they're all punched out using the Petite Petals punch, and you've got lots of different, well 6 different designs, and we're using this sketchy one here because I think that matches with the gorgeous grunge really well. So for the inside panel of the card, we'll stamp it in the corner in the Wisteria Wonder, and then you'll see on the first card I made that it's the same colour but slightly lighter. So to get that effect is you ink your stamp up again, but this time before you stamp it off once on some scrap paper and then stamp it on your card, and you can see it comes out, it's the same colour but just a lighter shade. So you stamp it off and then stamp it on your card, and that just puts a little bit of an accent in the corner just to make the inside look a little less boring. And then we need a piece of scrap Whisper White, which I've got some here, you can see where I made the others, and again we're going to stamp 4 of these randomly just on this paper because we're going to punch them out, so it doesn't really matter where they go. Close the ink pad, and we'll take a punch, and what you do is you turn it over, unlock it so that it springs open, pop that out of the way, and then you line your punch up very carefully with the flower and squeeze, and there we go. And again line it up. Oops. And again. So here we go, we'll do a little bit quicker for you. There's your 4 stamps. So before we stick them on here, we'll pop the inside panel on the inside of our card. Just going to use Snail Adhesive. There we go. line it up carefully. Now this panel is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, which means it'll leave an 1/8 of an inch border of the Wisteria Wonder around the outside. There we go. And then we'll pop the front panel on, again using Snail. And as with the inside, this is 1/4 of an inch smaller, so it'll leave an 1/8 of an inch gap all the way around. You need to line it up so you get an even gap all the way around your card as best you can. But hey, it's handmade, so it's never going to be perfect. So now time to stick our little flowers on. Get our Stampin Piercing Mat again. Here I've got the Stampin Up piercing tool, and instead of using the sharp end, I'm going to use the blunt end. And if you pop your flowers on your mat and just press down in the middle of them, it lifts them up, lifts all the petals up like that. And to stick them down, we're going to use the Stampin Up glue dots, mini glue dots. These are perfect for sticking little things like this. And all you do, can you see, if you can see that little glue dot there, just press your flower against the glue dot and it lifts it off, and then just place your flower anywhere you like on your card, just up that side. Oops, oh, I didn't pick that one up. There we go. And there we are, there's the flowers. Now, as I've said before, it's never finished without a little bit of bling on. Just lift the leaves up again. So then we're going to take the Stampin' Up Rhinestone jewels, all different sizes. You've got the bigger ones, medium size, small ones, and then you've got these long strips here, and we're going to use the small ones today. And all you do with these is pick them up using your piercing tool and pop them into the centre of your flower. These are sticky on the back, they've already got little glue dots attached to them, so there's no need to worry about fiddling with any extra glues. You just pick them up and pop them down. And that is basically it. It's a really quick and simple card, but very effective, with plenty of room for you to write your lovely little thank you message. So thank you for joining me again this week. I really appreciate all the fabulous comments I've been receiving on my videos. I am going to do my very best to put a video out there every Friday. Saturday, I suppose, if you're watching from over in America. So yeah, I hope you'll join me again next week, next Friday or Saturday. If you like what you see, please give my video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave any comments, and if you are interested in joining Stampin' Up or just buying the quality products that you've seen me use, then pop on over to my blog www.samsentiments.co.uk, and you can click on the link there to my Stampin' Up shop, which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, thanks for joining me. See you next week. Bye.